What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Call of Duty Vanguard video. As always, my name is G. Glad to have you all here. I hope you guys are having a good day. And today, guys, we are trying out the Call of Duty Vanguard M1 Garand. Now, this one kind of hit me, man. If you guys have been, watching the videos from the very beginning, you guys will know that I'm a huge M1 Garand fan since World War II. That was my go-to gun to kind of shred people, and I was just, I was a beast using the M1 Garand. This one's bittersweet because it's not a bad gun. Okay, let me just point that out right now. It's not a bad gun, but because of just how long it takes to kill someone, I cannot put it in the same level as how World War II had it. So it's not to say that it's a shit gun, because it definitely isn't. It does do its part for it's not a sniper rifle. It's not a, what is it called? But it's not a tactical rifle either. It's a marksman rifle. I always get those two confused. Marksman rifle and tactical rifles, right? It's a marksman rifle, and for what it's worth, it does do pretty decent damage if you land high body parts, like maybe the shoulder and up. It definitely does melt people if you hit them, a couple of times in the head. Maybe one shot them in the head and then one time in the body, it will kill them. But considering just how fast the time to kill is in this game, you're pretty much gonna be in a disadvantage if you really are just aiming for headshots with the M1 Garand. It really does do pretty good damage with the headshots, and it isn't really that hard to control. But considering that the way Vanguard feels, it's definitely not as fast paced as Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3, or any of those advanced movement type. But for regular boots on the grounds game, it's pretty much like Modern Warfare, where it's kind of if people are moving, it's pretty modern fast paced. It's pretty hard to kill someone who is really just jolting across the map, especially when you're using a semi-automatic rifle like the M1 Garand, right? So because of that, it's very hard to really land headshots and high body parts. You might hit them like in the hip, maybe in the leg, and if you do land shots of that, it takes up to 4 shots to drop someone with an M1 Garand. Compare that to what we had to do in World War II. You would literally 2-shot people no matter where you hit them. So if you hit them in the in the body, in the legs, if you landed 2 shots, even on the damn feet, they're dead. And if you hit him in the headshot, you'll probably get like a 1-shot kill using the M1 Garand in World War II. But in this game, it's not like that. So for that reason, I would definitely say it's very unfortunate that I would say that this gun was pretty much really mediocre, considering the standard that I had for an M1 Garand. And that's probably my fault, because I had set too high of an expectation for an M1 Garand, because like I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of the M1 Garands, and I always thought, if I use this gun, I'm pretty much gonna melt anybody. But alas, that was not the case with this gun. I was very disappointed. Eventually, I did end up unlocking some of the attachments that did make it a little bit more accurate, a little bit more easier to control the recoil, but the damage is still not the way I kind of wanted. I'm still kind of 2-tapping people, but that's because I kind of do have like a little bit of a decent aim, as opposed to if anyone else uses it, they might not be getting those 2-shot kills because they might be hitting them in the legs, or maybe lower the hip and all that. So I can definitely see how some people might say that this gun sucks, and in a sense, it doesn't suck, but it's definitely not how the World War II version had it. And that's where I kind of had my expectations to be, where I thought it was going to be like a 2-shot melter of a gun, but it wasn't. And that's pretty much the only downside of it, is just the fact that it was just my expectation that was too high. It's still a pretty decent gun. If you have like the I believe it's the drum magazine, where you add the drum into it, where it kind of gives you 16 rounds per magazine, as opposed to the 8 that you have just naturally. So when you add the 16 round drum, it definitely does help you out tremendously. And then if you add attachments that kind of assist you with the recoil control, that would also kind of help you out tremendously. This is one of those guns where I kind of had to go back in what I was saying about ADS and speed being king in this game, because yeah, sure, you might have a fast ADS speed, but if the gun is literally shaking all over the place, you're pretty much not doing yourself any favors, because yeah, you're pulling out the gun, but you start shooting, you know, the M1 Garand, and it's gonna be recoiling all over the place, and it does have a pretty strong kick if you don't have anything that controls the recoil. So for that alone, I will definitely have to say that you will have to compromise your ADS speed for more of control and recoil, especially for, I guess, these marksman rifles. I haven't really tried the rest of them, but it might seem that that might be the pattern that will kind of pretty much bundle up all the marksman rifles in the game, because like I mentioned, assault rifles and SMGs, the sooner you can pull up those guns, the faster you can ADS and really move. That's where you will pretty much do the most damage. But for marksman rifles, and I guess even shotguns, because again, with shotguns you don't need to ADS, you can just hip fire. You will have to compromise the recoil, not the recoil, excuse me, the ADS and the mobility speed for recoil control and accuracy, right? So that's one thing that's kind of neat about this game, that it pretty much encourages all different types of variety of play styles. Again, that's in the perfect world, right? Because I'm just thinking of, you know, that's if anyone even uses any other gun besides the STG and the MP40. But in the perfect world, this is a good design, because it encourages a variety of play styles, because now you're facing someone that doesn't have that quick ADS speed but has a crazy, you know, accuracy. And then, you know, if someone's using an SMG or an assault rifle, they might have a quicker ADS speed, but they might not be as accurate. But hence, that's what's these, you know, automatic rifles and weapons like that. You can just shoot to your heart's content to the, you know, the mag is empty. But for the marksman rifles, you have a pretty limited capacity, but they do, you know, hit pretty hard. So I guess that will be like the positives of the gun. And again, the cons will definitely just be the fact that it is very strict with the way you have to shoot people and where you have to hit them to get those 2-shot kills. And if you're someone that isn't really that good at, you know, being accurate, and you just shoot people no matter, you know, just at random, and you just want to, you know, you just want to shoot them, right? You probably won't kill them in 2 shots. You'll probably have to land 3 or maybe 4 shots to kill someone. But you're someone that really picks their shots, and you are really good at aiming for the head and the upper body, then you will definitely be getting those 2 shots kills more often than not. So that's one of the things why it's kind of like a con, but it's very, it really varies as to how you play. This is definitely one of those guns where you definitely shouldn't be running and gunning. Again, that's very unfortunate, because I'm, like I mentioned, I'm a very aggressive player, and if I can't play aggressively and I have to kind of chill and kind of relax and just play really passive, I get very impatient and I start doing very dumb plays. And with this gun, I'm just going to end up getting completely melted. And that's unfortunate, because in World War II, I can literally run and gun and just 2-shot people, even hit firing, and I will get the kills, right? So in a sense, it's a pretty balanced gun. And I guess if you're someone that's just really looking forward to just having a very balanced, you know, gunfight, this is definitely one of those guns that you will work out perfectly for you. But if you're coming into, you know, using the M1 Garand with the same expectations that I did coming into using this gun, thinking it was gonna just 2-shot people from whatever body part you're hitting, it's not gonna do that. So yeah, you know, it pretty much just falls down to me just being disappointed that it wasn't a complete melter of a gun. But other than that, man, it's a pretty decent gun. It's not too bad. Definitely not the best gun that I've used so far, but it's definitely not the worst. So I guess that's a positive, right? But that's just my opinion. You might just be crazy good at controlling the recoil and still be very good at, you know, being accurate. And you might say maybe you just suck, and maybe you're right. I don't know, but it really depends on just how you play and what's your play style and what kind of modes you're playing. So overall, the M1 Garand, not a bad gun, but it doesn't seem like it'll be a gun that I'll be using going forward. Maybe just completing it to 70, level 70, and that's pretty much it, which is pretty unfortunate, because like I mentioned again, I'm a huge M1 Garand fan of using the those type of guns. But just the way me playing it, just the experience that I have so far, it doesn't look like I'll be using it after I finish completing it. So yeah, anyways, man, that's pretty much it. That's just my take on that. I apologize if I do ramble a bit and the videos do get a little bit long. You know, I'm just a person that doesn't have a script on none of that, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you all taking the time every day to watch this video. And before I do end the clip, I just want to make a quick reminder that if you have not subscribed and you're just curious as to what I do and what my channel is all about, I'm simply just a guy that likes playing FPS games, mainly Call of Duty, Battlefield, and some Destiny. So if that's something that you'll be interested in watching, consider subscribing, man. It's completely free and no cost to you. And hey, maybe later on in the future, if you figure that my content sucks, or maybe just my personality sucks, you could always unsubscribe at any time. But with that being said, guys, I'll see you all in the next one. All right, peace out.